From topics A to Z via 1, 2, 3, you'll always be fun to me. Your hyper-focus will never be mocked. So let's deep dive on Torin Talks. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Torin Talks podcast, where hyper-focusers are exactly enough and never too much. Today, we are talking and deep diving with DogTheLastAirbender, which I'm very excited for. They are a streamer on Twitch, and she plays a variety of games and has incredibly cozy streams with what I would call, I don't know if it's accurate, we'll find out, a dash of chaotic conversations just sprinkled in here and there. And probably, at least my personal favorite thing about their streams is mental health focus, and that's a continuous conversation throughout. So who knows, we might dive into it, but definitely there's much more here, and I'm excited to dive into the more of that. So yeah, hi dog, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Welcome.
I'm very excited to be here.
Me too, thank you. And I mean, I think that intro is fairly accurate, but is there anything that you would rather add to that?
Oh gosh, no, I think you hit it pretty on the nail. Yeah, cozy, chaotic, lots of mental health. You know, just
Yeah.
kind of riding the wave. Lots of me having crash outs and chat supporting me, you know.
Normal streaming things. You know what's funny? Just quick aside, I swear, I have recently implemented, talking about mental health and crash outs, for my own personal benefit, I'm allowing myself 5 crash outs a day.
Love that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna resist it. I'm just gonna let it happen in appropriate avenues, right? Like not just in the middle of Kroger or Kroger doesn't exist here. Grocery store, just in the middle of a grocery store, like no.
I got what you meant.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't exist here. That's in the South. Anyway, so you know what? Sometimes you just need it, right? You just need some crash outs. But first off, how are you? We haven't had a chance to talk in a while. How you doing? How's it going?
I'm doing very well for the most part. I'm being incredibly humbled by my university adventure, but otherwise well, I would say. Yeah.
Hell
And how
yeah.
about you?
Oh gosh, the hesitancy. No, honestly, overall doing very well. Just got a lot of things going on. Like, as this will be a surprise to no one who's ever listened to me before, a lot of projects all at once. So, you know.
You are a busy gal, you know.
Which, it keeps the mental monsters at bay. But no, truly, it has been going well and super excited. How have streams been? And for anyone who doesn't understand, they are a Twitch streamer like myself. Sorry.
That's fine. Twitch streams have been mostly study-based lately because I have been very focused on school, so it's been a lot less on the like fun streaming, more on the co-working. But we've been having a lot of fun with that. It's really nice having the support. Oh my goodness. I could not handle multiple days of 5+ hours of statistics without chat cheering me on. My goodness.
It's so true, though. And I literally was just talking about that this morning because there were a couple people in this class I was in that, you know, they've never been on Twitch, they've never been a part of Twitch, so they're thinking it's just games and, you know, esports and things like that. And I was like, no, it's actually the categories, the things you can watch have been astronomically increased. Like, there are teams from Twitch for co-working now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It keeps you actually on task, right? Like, I mean, I do a little bit of the same, and there's so much admin work that I would not be able to power through without at least 3 out of the 5 crash outs I allow myself without having a chat there. Oh, man. And with all of that, and I know you said you started school, by the way, congratulations. You got this. I know it's hard, but you got this. How's the life balance been? How's school going?
You know, what is the balance of someone who works full-time, tries to stream on Twitch, have some sort of social life, a relationship, and a high-energy dog? While still going to therapy once a week? I don't know.
Honestly, yeah. When I was in school, we used to say there are 3 things: school, personal life, and like work life, whatever you want to call it. You can only get 2.
Or sleep.
Yeah, you only get 2 of those.
absolutely. Yeah, I would say that's a topic consistently with my therapist. It's like,
Mm.
okay, well you're really busy. One's a non-negotiable, the other three you enjoy. Um, okay, so I guess like there's five.
Yeah, I
One's a
was like, which one's
non-negotiable.
what's non-negotiable? Yes, go ahead.
Work's the non-negotiable
Right, you gotta live.
because capitalism, yeah, unfortunately. Yeah,
Yes.
non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, work. School technically negotiable, but not if I ever want to have a better work.
Yeah.
And then it's like friends, sleep, relationship. I would rather not lose that, preferably.
No, I
So
totally get it.
it's mostly just using the tools that we have in our wheelhouse to know when enough is enough and when applying yourself is a good idea.
Yeah, and I, not to be argumentative, I promise, but just more like, I know I struggle with this personally. Sleep should be a non-negotiable.
Yeah, and for me, it absolutely is a
Yeah,
non-negotiable.
that's
For
good.
you, I know that you somehow can work until 2 o'clock in the morning. Girl, I'm awake at 4:35. There's no way.
I
I am in bed by 9:30.
I'm honestly just jealous, period. Like, just how I honestly, yeah, no, I'm an insomniac, I know. And just,
I'm so sorry for you.
it's okay. Again, I'm more impressed. Like, man, that sounds so nice. I say that sounds nice, and then I know myself, I'd just be laying in bed like, what do I do?
Well, see, that's the thing, is it's the complete opposite for me.
Mm,
There is not a thought
mm.
in my head because I am asleep before I lay down every single night.
Oh, that's probably not good. Theoretically, that's, again, I say theoretically, and I only say theoretically because I feel like that's not the experience of most people.
No, typically when I say that to people, people are like, well, that means you're exhausted. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I get a solid night's sleep every night. So at least
Oh.
I give myself enough time and I get a relatively solid night's sleep. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'll wake up throughout the night, but I pass right back out again most of the time. I'm so sleepy.
I'm telling you, I'm jealous. I'm like, I kind of want to, like, just
Thank you.
applaud. You're like, yes.
Yeah, of all the things that people can complain about or the struggles that people have, I
Mhm.
feel so sorry for people who cannot sleep. However, there are those times where I wish that I could maybe stay awake past 9:30 and
Amazing.
not like if I was sitting here and I start to get tired, it doesn't matter what time it is, I will fall asleep in this chair whether there's 100 people
Oh
watching me
no.
live or one person watching me live. The circadian rhythm hits and my body says lights
Oh
out.
my god. Again, I'm kind of jealous. It's amazing.
I
Just do a
genuinely
sleep
thought I
stream.
had narcolepsy for a while. I should.
Oh god. No.
Yeah, but
No,
I
I'm more
don't
like,
get like the
are you
fall
okay?
asleep when I'm excited. No, I'm good.
Mm.
But it's just like the ability to fall asleep so fast, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't get the like what is actually narcolepsy, which
Yeah,
is if
yeah.
you have a high level of emotions, you fall asleep.
Just
I do
crash.
not have
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But girl, I can sleep just about anywhere.
Oh my god. You know what's funny? My brother's like that too. And literally he was in the military. There is a picture of him that someone took where he was on the hood of the Humvee, like just full battle gear. I'm talking like fully stacked battle gear, and just his mouth is completely gaping open. It's
Because he's just
like,
passed out. That's amazing.
that's honestly what I'm just picturing. It's like you just in the chair like
I know somewhere one of my friends has a video, or not a video, a photo of me,
Mhm.
and it's me asleep on the couch. And I was at my buddy's house and we are having some drinks, and I
Mhm.
have my drink in my hand. I'm sitting like completely normal, like a human being would, except I'm honked out and they've just started stacking Doritos up and around me. So I just have Doritos lined all over me and I'm just sitting there. And it looks like I've just closed my eyes for the bit, but I was actually passed out cold.
Oh my god. That's so funny. I,
Yeah.
I want to see this photo. Now, the
I'll
real
try and find
question,
it for you.
what kind of Doritos? Like, like what
Pretty sure
Dorito
they were
does?
nacho.
Okay,
It
okay.
was the bright orange nuclear Dorito dust.
Nice. No,
Yeah.
nacho. Just chips sound good in general.
Mhm.
Um,
We both
so,
deserve chips after this.
oh, absolutely. And through it. No, but now we're kind of talking about balance and mental health and things, right? So when I mean, the few things that we've done together have been for like Jack.org, which is very lovely. You know, please go check it out. They champion mental health. But we've done streaming events with raising money for Jack.org. I know, just from what we talked about, that mental health is a huge cornerstone of your streams, or at least the way that you operate and talk to people about too. And like it's something that comes up fairly often. So if you wouldn't mind chatting about it a little bit, would you have some, I don't know if it would be life lessons or things that you really would, you know, disseminate to people if they are curious and or looking into it themselves, because it's such a, can be such a thing that's hard for people to investigate, maybe?
Like mental health in general, is that what you mean is hard to
Yeah, like,
investigate? Or
and even like Twitch is such a unique position where anyone can be in your stream. And so it could be someone who has, like me, been through therapy and stuff, or it could be someone who's never even thought about doing it. So has there been anything that you've found is helpful to talk about it, broach it with people who maybe have never done it before, or something you learn from streaming in that vein?
I guess for me, really the most important thing is to show a level of like zero judgment
Mm.
and embracing. And that sounds very generic and pretty much what all mental health support is. But at the end of the day, whether someone has been in therapy, but especially if someone hasn't been, or any other part of a mental health journey,
Mm.
um, the stigma of it can be such a huge downfall. And that stigma can look like they think they're going to be judged for needing help,
Mm.
but it can also be thinking that they already know what they need to do to fix themselves, and then being like, oh, well, my practitioner is just going to tell me to stop doing this. And it's like, well, they might, but if it's important to you, they might also just give you tools to do both things.
Right.
And I guess that's the most important part is reminding people not only that they're safe, but that there's nuance in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, needing help doesn't make you less successful. Uh, Wanting to do something that's hard for you, like starting a new podcast, doesn't necessarily have to be a negative.
Is it me?
And
I
it
don't
can,
know. No, you're good.
just as a relevant thought.
Could be
Um,
real with some people who know.
right. There is just so much more than the blanket black and white way we look at things.
Mm.
And so like that might not be very specific, but I think that's my generally how I navigate interacting with people,
Right.
whether they're brand new for their mental health journey or well down the line, is just like really embracing the nuance and embracing them just like, yeah, you
Mm.
feel that way. What is the problem? Like, explain to me. There is none. Let's
Right.
just.
Well, and even if you can't be empathetic, maybe, but you can be sympathetic. And I think that
Fair.
no, and I really think it's a really good thing that you touched on is non-judgment. And I do this personally a lot where I've had to work hard to fight this, but having a perceived preconceived notion of what's going to happen. Now,
Yes.
for me, that's OCD. In case anyone was unaware, I have OCD, and so a lot of that is trying to become cognizant about what's going to happen to you, and you know somehow gain some god power. But that expectation, and maybe not even judgment, but that expectation of something, and then I think that's really important. But also non-judgment about yourself, if that makes any sense. Like, even if let's say your therapist did tell you like, hey, you should probably stop that, or like let's move away from that, it's hard to not judge yourself after that of being like, oh, I am really weird, or you know, something of that, like now I'm going to internalize that even though they didn't say anything about it, they didn't give you a judgment on it, but you've now made a judgment about yourself. This is getting strange. I don't know if I'm explaining it well. But
No, I think I get what you're saying,
Mm.
right? And like, hopefully, a practitioner will notice if that happens.
Yeah.
But we all do our best to people please. I am the worst. I've been in therapy for years, and there are so many things I haven't told my therapist purely based off
Yeah.
the fact of I'm like, well, she has to carry that with her for the rest of the day.
Oh
Is it really a good day to drop this like thing?
no.
Am I prepared to deal with it? Is she prepared to deal with it? And that's really not my problem. Caveat for everyone: if
Yeah.
you are in therapy, never worry about how your practitioner is going to hold what you have to say. That's not your place.
You literally pay them for it, as many of
You
mine
pay them
have
for it.
reminded me.
Same. Yep. I'm constantly reminded about how it is my space, and therefore I should take up as much of it as I can. But that's the thing, right? Once
Yeah.
again, you have this preconceived idea of how, whether what you say is going to affect other people or what your practitioner says means about you. But a lot
Yeah.
of the time, I actually just talked about this recently in my chat, was like, in the sweetest possible way, girl, it's just not about you.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
it's so true. Yeah.
Like, in so much of life, it's just not a personal attack. It's
Mm,
just how it is. Whether it's like your therapist telling you to move away from something, that doesn't mean what you were doing was wrong. It just means it wasn't working right now, and that's
right.
all that matters. Um, and and just trying to remember that like it is that deep, but it's not about you. You
Yeah.
know, it's just
Gosh, and honestly, that applies to so much. Like, literally, my
it really.
brain just fired so many memories, and I was like, cool. Even when you have the best intentions, sometimes it's not about you. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it just,
absolutely.
especially the people pleasing part. Oof. Oof, buddy.
Yes.
Because I personally
Yeah.
have a compulsion. Like, anyone asks a question, I'll be like, it's this. I think it's this. Can we go find out? I'll help you. I'll help. Do you need help? It's like,
Do
Torin.
we need to find the
Yeah,
answer?
yeah. Like, Torin, calm down. Not about you, baby.
Yeah.
Like, they need to learn it on their own, and or whatever the situation may be.
Get there on their own, what have you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so, sometimes you got to experience it for yourself, even if it's a lesson that everyone else has learned.
What is it about humans? You can read like, you can know something 1,000 times over, and
Mhm.
until you do it yourself, it just doesn't really mean anything. It's wild.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, you were right. And it's like, no shit, I was right, buddy. Like, I
How
told
many
you.
times have
Okay.
humans gone through the same freaking problems, and yet we keep going through the same problems?
Right.
We
Oh
just
my
refuse to
gosh.
think that someone else knows better, even if we
Hmm.
know they know better.
So true. Now, so with that, by the way, I love, gosh, I will not forget that moment of just non-judgment. I'm like, oh, that's so, I love that. Because as a small example, I've been in this class. It's for branding and business and that kind of stuff. But part of that is you have to know yourself pretty well, which
Yeah.
someone that suffers from mental health, like, I know everyone just felt that stress immediately. But part of that is also the perception of you, right? And literally a lot of the feedback I got after just saying, for like, when people rate in on Twitch and you go, hey, my name is this, thanks for rating, blah blah, you give your little intro. That's what I did for the class. I was like, hey, I'm Torin, this is my channel, you can hang out as much or as little as you like here. And I thought I was just being very kind and open and like, hey, it's a, do what you want here within bounds. But like,
Yeah.
be who you need to be. The feedback I got, dog, was immediately, you have opinions. And I'm like, what in what I just said conveys that I have opinions? I know, I don't, maybe it was the way I said it, or I don't know, confidence of saying it. I don't know, some like a practice thing. But it cracked me up because
Interesting.
I know, right? Like, I feel like I'm very non-judgmental, and then that happened. I'm going, oh, but
Well, and
yeah, go ahead.
alternatively, did they mean it in a judgmental way?
I don't know. That's the point.
Because like having opinions could just be passion too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And like
Hmm.
now, and I will caveat, they did say you have opinions, but you don't try to push it on other people, kind of idea. And I was like, that's also
Nice.
very important. But what I was going to say is just, if I had to be pressed to talk about your stream, that would be one of the first things I would say. It is a very non-judgmental, comfortable space, and
Oh, well, that makes me feel very good.
yeah, it's very welcoming. And your stream is always one where I'm like, if I'm having a bad day and my brain does my autistic burnout and I can't navigate through it, like, your stream is one of the ones that I'd be like, oh, perfect, click, and like just settle it and just like listen or chat. But
This one.
yeah, like, I like this one. It's very comfy. But yeah, I like, I don't know. in the same vein of just my perception of your stream matches what you say, and I love that. Love it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That feels especially good because I do have an opinion, so it's nice that I don't make people feel too uncomfortable about that.
Right? God, I really want to ask the class about that, but I'm like, you know what, it's fine. Whatever. Literally, when they said it to me, I was like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and I'll talk about it. Don't ask.
Well, I guess I'm selling who I am accurately.
Literally, that was the second thought. The first thought was, what? The second thought was, no, that's okay. Yep, no, we're good. I'm on the right track, guys.
I love that. Sounds like a really awesome class.
It is really cool, actually. And, oh, gosh, again, having to have a mirror up to yourself and go, who am I really? To then thus, sell later, like, ugh. And yeah, no, it's honestly been really interesting to watch the unraveling of some and the buildup of some. Like, some people are getting confidence from it, some are unraveling. I personally am sitting in the middle.
Some days you're feeling confident, some days you're feling unraveled.
It's so true. And I'm just
I think that's fair.
Like, and quite frankly, on brand. And talking about your stream and branding, if you will, if you go with me on here. So your username is DogTheLastAirbender. For anyone who does not know, probably has something to do with Avatar: The Last Airbender, a wonderful show. From
you're on the money there.
Yeah. And like your panels and stuff are beautiful, and the elements and everything. I was personally going to ask, because I don't think at least I've ever asked you about this at all, but what was the prompting of that? Is it just a pure obsession of the show or anything in particular?
To be honest, the original time I used that username was for my dog's Instagram account.
Oh, Iroh! It was my mic popping up. It was Iroh's? Oh.
Yes. So, because, I have a dog, and he is named for The Last Airbender, I was like, I don't know where I just at one point I was like, Dog Last Airbender. Well, that's the best thing I've ever thought of in my entire life.
I am a genius.
Yeah, exactly. So then it was just my dog's Instagram account after I first had my little pupper. And then I guess 3-ish years after getting him, I believe. Gosh, how old is he now? So yeah, he's about 4. I started streaming, and Dog the Last Airbender I was never going to think of anything better than that. And I loved that for the theme, and so I just kind of carried it on. At that point, I had pretty much stopped being a Instagram dog mom, so it was kind of available, and yeah, I just carried on from there, and it's been the theme of stream. Just, it's good vibes, man.
Yeah. I love that, because here I was, again, expectations, right? Or even just not expectations, but when you kind of have a curiosity, I don't know if you're like this, but when you have a curiosity, you kind of go, well, it could be this. Well, what if it's this? Well, what is?
Absolutely.
Is there a deeper meaning? I don't know. And you turn into, like National Treasure or something. But
me for everything always, so
yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
And I love the fact that it was just like, no, just sound like a good idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it was purely yeah. I have a dog and I like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Well, what about Dog the Last Airbender?
And it's such an interesting thing, though. I love that it started with Iroh, which, again, by the way, their dog's name is Iroh, if you don't know.
He's sleeping over there.
I can actually hear him snoring a little bit. Not snoring, but I can hear. No, it's perfect.
I
love it.
He is snoring.
It's so cute. Oh my god. But I love that it started with him. You know what I mean?
Very on brand.
It's so on brand. And I don't know. This is definitely a me thing, but I'm hesitant to have my animals be some kind of focus of the stream. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, it can be hard when they're not there anymore,
yeah.
Right?
And that's kind of, now, for anyone who does not know, my pets are much older. Like my cat Yuna's 21. And so if
Which is incredible, by the way.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 cat mom.
And in some ways. But like Esteban, my cat, just passed this year, and he was also 20. But like, I started streaming 5 years ago. So if I had emotes of them or something like that, like, personally, I would just come apart. Like, and so I'm just like, yeah. And, but there's such a love there that it feels weird not to have it. I don't know if you feel like that at all, but yeah.
I think it's for me, because I know quite a few of my stream friends who have had, say, emotes of their pet or whatever. And then they passed away, which so sorry about Esteban, just as a little aside.
I appreciate you.
And so when their pets have passed on, it's been quite hard for them.
Yeah.
Whether they kept the emotes for a while, but then had to get rid of them because they didn't, it just made them feel some sort of way that wasn't pleasant.
Right.
I know some people who they stopped streaming, but are forever grateful for the fact that they have those like little picture emotes of their pet kind of as an honor.
Right.
For me personally, whether it's like I'm oddly comfortable with death. I had a lot of very close family members pass when I was really young. My father passed away before I turned 4. A lot of my close grandparents before then. Yeah, so not ideal, but it's something that I've come to terms with.
I'm really laughing at the not ideal. Like, is it? Sorry, continue. I apologize.
No, that was amazing. That made me feel really good.
Good.
So okay. That was great. So that plus maybe because I work at a vet, so
I was gonna say
really
probably might be due to that. Who knows?
hammers, some more like this is just a thing that happens. Yeah. So I guess long story short, I'm comfortable about him being such a big focus of the stream because at the end of the day, I think it's an honor. He's such a huge portion of my life that I couldn't really keep him out of it even if I wanted to because half the time he's trying to crawl on my lap.
Yeah. It's so cute because he's so big. Yeah.
He's so big. I know. It is going to be hard. I think the one part that kind of weirds me out is like if I'm still streaming when he passes, because he's 9 now, like having to tell so many people is going to be very strange. Yeah, that one's going to be hard for sure.
Yeah,
so.
and the weird thing is, I promise I'm not going to dwell on this, but like when Esteban passed in February, and I definitely was like, hey buds, not gonna be on stream for a while. I don't know when I'll be back. I'll be back soon. Salute. Like, just leave me to it. And of course, one of the first streams back, it was like, how are you doing? And I'm like, not great. Like, we're here. I'm playing a video game. Shut up. And it's such a, I don't want to say healthy, because I know, at least for me, that probably was a lot of work to get through for you in all of the things you talked about. But what I'm trying to say is just I applaud you in so many ways, because I didn't know any of that. So number one, thank you for sharing. But to have that viewpoint, because Iroh, he's such a sweet baby, and you definitely see his nose sometimes. It's like so adorable, just like from the bottom of the screen, like it's so cute.
Yeah, or just whenever the webcam shakes ferociously and it looks like it's an earthquake, it's because someone's booping the desk telling me that my time's over,
baby.
And he would like attention, and he's strong enough to lift the whole desk, and therefore he does.
Again, big old baby. We love it.
Big old baby. Yeah. So, yeah. Pets and just life and grief, it's so hard, and everyone experiences it in such a different way. But, and I'm saying all this now, maybe it's going to be horrible when it happens. Who knows? But
God,
I think
yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, he is just, especially when I first started, one of the few things that made me feel like me. So it was like, how could I couldn't bring myself here if I didn't also bring my hooliganizer child.
Well, and in a funny way, because you kind of adopted his name.
I did.
Yeah, like I feel like now you definitely have to, like, not that was ever an option, and especially not now, but
Yeah.
It's not actually
I gotta pay my dues.
Yeah. I love it because it's kind of like, this is a weird analogy, go with me please. It's kind of like the whole like Frankenstein is not the monster, it's actually the doctor.
Exactly.
But they call the monster Frankenstein all the time, and it's like, actually, let me push up my glasses. That's actually the doctor's name.
Actually, that's the dog's name.
Yeah. Exactly. I love that though. That makes me so happy for some reason. Cause and especially in a weird way of like, so random story, but we have a dog, Sadie, and she very much, when we adopted her, just didn't even know how to play with toys, didn't know what toys were. And I know. And then it was really hard to come out of her shell to meet other people and especially other dogs, right? Well, now many years later, she has a little like romance with our neighbor dog. I know. It's so cute. And like just try to get her out of her shell. And the thing is, I had to learn his dad's names because they were just Oscar's dads. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
for so long.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd have to repeat their names in my mind like over and over again, like Dan and Dave, Dan and Dave. And I would just have to do that. And I'm like, they can't just be Oscar's dads. I have to actually greet them as a human does. And
Are you sure? Because, like, I work in a vet med and I never remember the clients' names.
No. You have to look at the
Hello?
paperwork.
Are you Daisy's mom?
Like, oh
Great.
yeah. It's
Sweet.
just cracks me up, and especially like social media accounts about pets. I don't think anyone actually knows the human's name behind the account, you know? Oh, that's so funny.
We're not there for them.
You know what? You're not wrong. It just cracks me. I love it so much. I love that fact. I don't know why. That's gonna now stick in my brain forever. What I was gonna ask, it's so funny, with your love of the show, because obviously we love Iroh, your baby boy. Is there anything about Avatar: The Last Airbender that, I don't know, like, because we haven't really talked about this. I know obviously it's part of your stream and stuff, and this is probably just me not taking advantage of chat, but is there anything about the show that you really like, or like what's your love of the show? You know, what sparks the love of it?
Well, I guess if I was to break it down and not have you sit here for 4 or 5 hours with me,
I will
explaining
literally sit
everything.
here for as long as you want. Are you kidding me? Like, yes, please.
Right, it's so good. There's just so many good
It's so
parts to it.
good. Yeah.
I would have to say, I think
Hi,
the
baby
thing
boy.
that's yes, he
Sorry,
we were talking
I
about
don't
him,
know it
so
on
he's decided
Cam
to
can see
come
this,
join
but I
us.
can see it. These little feet. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Um, I think one of the things that's held me there the longest is the overall teaching of it.
Hmm.
And I think the amount that I relate to so many portions of the story, so many characters in the story, but especially, of course, Uncle Iroh,
Yeah.
once he's, they don't touch on it very much, but if you think about it, Iroh as a young man was probably not a very nice man.
No, definitely not. He had to
He
get
was a
his
war
nickname somehow, right?
Exactly.
Hmm.
And he may have been nicer for a war general, but you cannot be a successful war general and an incredibly nice person.
Right.
It's just usually not how it goes. And for him to even be given that title, he would have had to at least play the part
Hmm.
that his father would have wanted for him. Like Zulon had plans and things that he wanted for his kids, and he wouldn't have given them high titles if they weren't going to achieve those things.
Right.
So, long story short, that incredible transition of someone going from being, well, like the darkest they can be, from their darkest place, to a place of not only complete acceptance of themselves, but understanding the nuance and the balance of life and the beauty within so many things, and even more so the importance of connection and community. Um, a lot of his statements about hope really got me through what has been a lifelong struggle with my own mental health journey.
Right.
Um, on my arm, people don't ever get to see it because I'm always fully dressed, but in the darkest times, hope is something you give yourself.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yep.
yeah, see,
Oh god, I can feel it. Yeah.
That visceral reaction to that statement is what has kept me there for so long. And honestly, my real goal in life is to be an Uncle Iroh for the people that I know. And that all kind of ties into the mental health. It's just, it's my passion. It's what I believe in. I just don't believe well, I guess to make it easy is there's everyone has an idea of success, but
Right.
there is a poem out there and it is called To Succeed. And the whole poem goes on to say that to succeed is not to make money, but is to make a young child smile, to make your neighbor know that they always can depend on you, to make art out of something horrible and to make something horrible out of art. It's to live and breathe and create that space of no judgment for the
Yeah.
people around you. And that is what to succeed means to that person, and it's what it means to me. I would be doing a lot better in life if money had some value to me, but unfortunately it does not. Um,
Same.
and yeah, success just it doesn't correlate with that for me. And
Yeah.
I think everything about Avatar speaks that. That's
Mm.
the whole main teaching. It's to learn from everyone you meet, enjoy every portion of people that are different from you, and build every part of yourself from the experiences you have. And really, that's all we are. Like, I'm sure every single one of us could sit and think about one of our favorite foods that were introduced to us by someone we know.
Mm. Yeah.
That part of ourselves is a part of that person. We carry it with us. And I just think if humans acknowledged how important other humans are in our day to day lives, we would maybe be a lot more gentle with each other.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh. And I love a lot of what you brought up, but especially just the explanation of Iroh because I do like the show. It's not one where I've rewatched it a lot because it's a comfort show kind of thing, but it's not one that I gave a deep thought to. What are thoughts? But no, I love the way that you've explained it because truly Iroh in that light, the way you described him, is the crux of the show. If you want to
He
think about
really
it that way,
is.
yeah, he really is. And I was like, holy shit, that's actually really smart. Like, dog, you just blew my mind.
He's kind of the backbone of the entire thing.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really is. And you only even meet him. Well, no, you meet him in the first episode, don't you? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
ice Southern Bowl.
Yeah, they're in
Yeah,
the
he's on the
southern
ship.
pole and they're on the ship and Zuko's being angry and he's just pleading with him to please breathe, Zuko,
Mm-hmm.
and that your destiny is not that other people give to you.
Yeah, and even like later on the show, Toph meets him, Uncle Iroh, and they have that wonderful talk. And then now that I'm now thinking about it, Aang all the time was talking about how the Fire Nation people are not this. What people, which understandably, again, if anyone doesn't know the show, Fire Nation invaded everybody. It's been 100 years. It's been bad. They've been trying to take over. And Aang, the airbender of the show, is very adamant about that. About how
Mhm.
the Fire Nation people are not this. That's just one person with a subset of people that are enacting all those things. And
Yeah.
really, Iroh is a very good example of exactly what Aang is talking about the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly what you're talking about. Because, it's very easy to view Iroh like I would, he was a badass and now he's a happy old man. And it's like, actually, that took many decades of, you know, invading essentially and taking over.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if anyone doesn't know, I would say spoiler alert, but it's been many decades. his son
It's a
passes away.
20-year-old show.
Yeah, like his son passes away, and through that grief, he finds exactly the lesson you're talking about, where family and the people around you and learning from everyone, which is funny because he mentions that, right? I know you know that. Learning from all the other benders to affect how he does things, and then, I mean, think about it. He learned that during wartime.
Yeah.
But
and the reason he can redirect lightning is directly a teaching that he got from the waterbenders, right?
Exactly.
So and one thing that I always try to remember is though Iroh and Aang never have that very important one-on-one like he has with many other characters, Aang gets it from Zuko. And where does Zuko get it from?
From Iroh.
Exactly. So it's, Zuko takes the part of Iroh and spreads it with Aang, and it creates this beautiful relationship. They learn so much more, and there's just such a level of understanding within that level of vulnerability and modesty that I could really learn to apply.
Modesty? Question mark?
Well,
Yeah.
in,
Or vulnerability? Because I'm like,
like,
I would think you're very modest,
no,
but maybe
I
I'm
guess
misunderstanding.
maybe I should have said humble.
Mm,
You know, like I can be quite humble, but I also have a lot of pride that has served me well in times of needing it.
mm,
But, you know, humility is not the or like shame is the opposite of pride.
yeah,
Humility is a completely other portion.
yeah.
And so I don't, I, you know, I can, like we talked about with our mental health,
Mm-hmm.
shame and things like that, judgments. I don't always have the best about myself or other people. And I think a little bit more willingness to be humble and humility would be better.
You know, I would have never thought that about you. However, I want to say, however, knowing how a lot of people perceive me and knowing myself, I get that. I
Yeah.
do.
Right?
Yeah, because I don't know how yours manifest, if you will, but in a way, through survivability, I can be very proud, if that makes any sense,
Yes.
and decisive in a lot of ways because I
Mhm.
had to be, and that
Yeah, it
can
was a tool.
yeah, and it can quickly turn on you, right? In certain instances, like we've been talking about, context is important. But I feel like a lot of people, especially in the streaming world, that have watched me as a streamer, would not believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and luckily, I'm sure a huge part of this, please correct me if I'm wrong, it's because you don't need it when you stream. Because it's a space you created for yourself.
Mm.
At least not with those people that you interact with,
Right.
right? Like you've created a space with gentle but very dirty guidelines and just like me, right? It's like
Yeah.
there is I love you all, but if you cross this boundary,
Yeah.
then that's unacceptable. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, you've created a safe space. Like I'm sure there's still moments where the pride kicks in, but like generally speaking, at least in my experience, I can be way more of myself on stream than I can be in a lot of other experiences in my life,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a safe space and therefore I don't need those tools and it's much easier to not rely on those tools that I've
Mm-hmm.
needed to have in the past. Yeah.
And especially to your point of you created that space and it's your space. And most people recognize that. I'll say, in my experience, and hopefully yours too, generally people recognize that and don't try to overtake the space, or, I feel like proud people can do that, where they're like,
Mhm.
my space now. And it's like, literally, your name's not on it. But yeah. So
Right.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Dog, I'm so happy.
I'm so
Well,
happy to be doing this with you. Can we just keep doing this
yes.
like whenever?
Yes. But no, truly, like, we have interacted on stream, teams, types of stuff and everything, but and in each other's chats too. But like, these are things that, again, I don't doubt, due to I know how I am. And streaming kind of creates a weird, I don't want to say characterization of, but you're absolutely right. There's a space that you create so you can show up how you want. And it doesn't bring in the facets of things that you've either have had or have had to develop due to other things. Yeah. So I really love that. That's awesome. This is more just a random question, and digging into the things about Avatar you like. Now, I assume you rewatch the series a lot. Is it more like
And I have
Avatar?
every single book,
I can
so
see
I
it.
have all the detail of how
Yeah.
Republic City was made and everything. Yeah, girl, I'm into it.
You know what's funny? So I can't tell if I have that book, but I have 4 art books that also detail it. Yeah, they're so good. And then I need to read them, but the Kyoshi ones.
Yes. Oh, both the actual novels,
Mm-hmm.
incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got the Yang Chen as well?
Yes.
Also amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Now I just need to carve out time. Do you rewatch Atla first, or more often, I should say? Do you watch Atla more often or Korra?
I rewatch Atla more often for
Mm.
sure, but I don't hate on Korra like a lot of other people do.
Yeah, and God,
Yeah.
talk about boundaries. And talk about like, hey, shut the fuck up. No, but like,
Yeah.
cause same, but I really do love Korra.
I adore Korra. Do I think that this Nickelodeon as a studio forced the writers to do stupid shit in the first season with that love triangle and it's awful to watch? Yes. But if we disregard that portion.
Oh, of Korra. Sorry, I think my love
Sorry,
triangle
yep,
and Atlan, I was
Korra.
like, there's a love triangle in Atlan?
No.
I'm like,
First
like
season of
12.
Korra,
Yeah.
where, with the whole
yes.
Bolin and,
brothers,
that makes it a little less desirable. But the background story of that season, with Amon, incredible. I think one of the best villain arcs of all of the series, to be honest. I think it was really well written. The last episode made me bawl my eyes out. And just the rest of it, I had a hard time with it at first because Korra is written as the antithesis to Aang.
Right.
And I loved Aang. I relate to Aang so heavy. I am an Aang. I want to play and I want to ride penguins and I do not want conflict.
Look what I just
do not
did.
want it. Yeah, exactly. That's me. Yeah. I'm Aang and I'm Katara through and through.
Oh, I see.
So I'm gentle and I want to be playful and everyone thinks I'm crazy because I don't like Toph that much, but Toph's attitude is not for me. You know what I mean?
No,
She's
I
not
get
a team player. She gets there and I get it, but she had
to work through it.
Toph, Korra, very similar creatures. And so it's hard to watch Korra after that. But I think the whole thing that they did was like Aang needed to learn how and when to protect himself.
Yeah.
And Korra needed to learn how and when to be gentle.
Right.
How and when to be humble, to see the other side, to be vulnerable. And I really liked that they wrote both stories kind of in opposites that way, and how like Aang had to learn how to be more like Korra and Korra had to learn how to be more like Aang. And I think there's some really beautiful stories in both. I just the original's always best. Both are good.
And it's could have been due out to side pressures too about Nickelodeon anyway, or other things too, right? And the ages being different too, because there are certain things that are easier to tell when it's like 12, 15 focus, right? Rather than Korra was I think she started at 18. I know she's
17,
in her 20s.
I believe.
Okay, and at the end of it, she's in her 20s.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because
you're 16 when you're told when you're an avatar, and then she knew when she was way younger because Korra was ridiculous, but she started training as an avatar at 16, and then 17 is when she gets picked up by Tenzin because she's practiced her water and now she's got to learn her air. Blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot of growth too for most humans of. Especially when you're 12 versus the priorities and different things and expectations of when you're 17 into your 20s. And that shift, I think, can be really difficult, especially for Nickelodeon in itself being such a younger age demographic target usually. Because, I have no doubt that we can talk about this all day, but even just, you were talking about the love triangle with Korra and how that story ended anyway. Like, I'm talking like at the very end of the season of the whole series, with Asami. Yeah. And how they were like, we can't show that. And it's like, you showed her kissing dude face. Like, what the fuck is this?
Right?
Yeah.
And it was definitely Nickelodeon, because let me tell you, the first thing they do in the first Korra book, it starts right as the third season ends, and they hold hands, go into the spirit world, and smoochies!
And who doesn't want that backdrop when you smooch, right?
And they got a queer woman to help them write the entire book, because as two cisgender male, they did not want to be writing an LGBTQIA+ story. So they got a queer woman to help them write it.
We love it. Representation from the top. Yes. Let's fucking go. Yes. No, I love that. I didn't know that. I need to read these books. Hold on. Let me note to self. Read Korra book. But truly, like, I really love that. And just the representation in general in both series, really. But I know people talk all about this, but the ones that took over the Air Temple, and he has the disabled boy that I can't remember. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name right now either. But yes, the little paraplegic boy in the gliders.
And I love that, and I think that's why the show has endured for such a long time too. Because you're not wrong. It was 20 years ago, which in a weird way, I think that's maybe why in some ways, like, maybe I took it more at face value. Not face value, but like, it wasn't something that integrated so much in my brain because I was older when I watched this. Like, I didn't watch it when it came out. Yeah.
Me either,
Mm,
actually,
mm.
surprisingly enough. I think I was 18-ish, so it had been out for almost 10 years before I ever watched it.
Nice. Mm.
Um, I don't I don't know what it was, why it hit so deep for me. I think for one of the big parts was for the first time ever there were characters who were the main who did not want conflict. Like for the
Mm.
first time
Yeah.
ever, I actually related with some of the main characters
Right.
because so much in media people are written like Zuko because people love Zuko. He's
Mm-hmm.
great. It's interesting. It has levels. But like I just didn't relate in the same way. Like as I got older and life happened and you get resentful and
Yeah,
you're an
yeah.
angry teenager, I
Right.
can relate to a point, but at my core, that was just never who I was. And so maybe it had something to do with the fact that I felt more represented in this.
Mm.
I've always loved like Asian spiritualism,
Mm.
Buddhism. Um Short little aside because I know we've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
going
please.
for a while, but one of the first times I was ever really enjoyed Asian spiritualism and Buddhism when I was younger. I was born in Calgary, Alberta, in
Mm.
Canada, which is a larger city, and they had this big, beautiful museum. It was called the Glenbow Museum, and my grandmother would take me there all the time. And it was essentially, I think, her free daycare to not have to deal with me,
Oh.
um, because we'd go
Distract.
into the museum
Mm.
and she knew that I wasn't going to mess with stuff. So
Right.
I just got to exist. Like, as 6, 7 years old, I just would spend my day in a museum by myself, reading, looking, enjoying. It was the cool.
I was like, me as an adult, I'm jealous. Okay. Yep. No.
Oh
Yep.
my
Oh,
god,
that
right?
sounds
Coolest thing
great.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what the exhibit was because once again, I moved away from Alberta when I was 8, so guaranteed I was less than 8 years old that all
Right.
this happened. I don't remember the exact age. Um, but there must have been some sort of Tibetan exhibit, something
Mm.
was going on. And I was playing in a sand garden that they had. There's always like the kids things that they
Mm-hmm.
do at
And
museum
little interactive
exhibits.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't touch the important stuff. So I
Yeah.
was not touching the important stuff like a good kid by myself in this
Yeah.
really dark, dimly lit room with only lights on the actual exhibits. And there
Mm.
was the Tibetan throat singing. Have you ever
Oh,
heard
yes, I
that?
have. It's beautiful.
So like the ambiance was very intense. This
Mm-hmm.
will be in my brain forever. And I'm sitting there playing in my little sand garden, and lo and behold, who comes into the room but two literal Tibetan monks.
That's really fascinating.
Shaped head, full
Uh
cloaks,
huh. Uh huh.
Asian. I assume they were real monks. I was 6 or 7, couldn't actually tell. But they
These are two actors we grabbed.
yeah, they convinced me. I assume they were like I don't actually know. Maybe they were representatives. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
where they
no. Let's hope. Let's just hope.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yeah because I doubt some random was going to then take the opportunity to tell this little kid about the creation in Buddhist thought, like Tibetan
Mm,
Buddhist
mm,
thought, which is like the turtle with the
yeah.
4 elephants standing on top in this big, beautiful. And I just sat there at 6 years old, like,
I'm
and
fascinated.
just stared at these people like this is the coolest experience that I've ever had in my entire life. And I
Mhm.
think Avatar was the first time that I ever got that again, like
Right.
fully, you know what I mean?
That's
Where
so
I just
cute.
felt completely immersed in this beautiful culture that I just loved so much.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's just it I think I just got excited. I don't know where I was for the first 10 years. We didn't have cable and stuff, but yeah.
No, I got it. And that's like, I didn't either. And so a lot of these things as an adult, I had to catch up on. Like, have you ever seen this? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. So
Yeah.
let me go get
And
it.
that's
Yeah.
still my experience, to be honest. Yeah, it's because I spend all my time rewatching Avatar.
Which, hey, no problems here. And gosh, I love that. So, and especially, I mean, one, it just sounds like Avatar: The Last Airbender was the amalgamation of like all the, please don't stop that. Just the amalgamation of, um, your special interest, if you will. And
Yeah.
I love the way you brought that up though, because funnily enough, I can't relate to Aang. Aang is actually one for me personally who is very hard to kind of rally behind, if you will.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Toph is actually the character where I'm like, yep, I see myself. Well, never mind, not gonna make
Interesting.
that joke. But yeah, like, that for me, inability to have fun, which talking about therapy, that is something I'm absolutely working on. But that I was always enviable of that ability to just let yourself be carried away by something fun, even if it's scary, even if it's new. Like, you know, that joy of, I don't want to fight. I just want to have fun, and like, can't we just all, like, I think it even says something at some point like this of like, can't we all just get together and have fun? Like, you know, like, we don't need war, right?
Well, he looks Zuko dead in the face and says, "Do you think that we would be friends if we had met before the war?" And then he disappears, and that's just who I am through and through.
I love
like
that.
You know, I would say I'm probably more like Katara because Katara had to deal with some shit and had some responsibilities, but you know, like at the end of the day, people used to say I was like Katara, kind of like an insult. You're the lame one like Katara, and it's like, well,
as I roll
I can
my
see
eyes.
how that.
Fuck those
Right?
people.
Fuck those people. Katara's a baddie.
Is she? Oh, what? Girl. Yes. Sorry,
honestly, so scary. Can you imagine if she had was more into fighting?
I mean, hey, we saw that small glimpse, the small glimpse with the bloodbending episode, where personally I was like, get him. That's when I'm like, I'm the bad influence. Shit. Like, oh no, because you're not wrong. Because if Toph was there, oh, that guy would have been dead, easy. Yeah, just gone. And if Aang was there, wouldn't have even been a question. You know, like, it wouldn't have been a question for him. But no, Katara, in my opinion, is probably the most badass person there because she has such a high level of empathy and had to be a mothering type of person and keep everyone alive and, you know, doing those things, and truly has the ability to just wipe people out. And she's what, 14? Something like that? And
self-taught.
Yeah, self-taught, 14, but such a drive and such a built by circumstance person. Yeah. And so personally, I mean, I get what you're talking about, where the things that are really good about you are used against you, and it's a battle I fight every day. But personally, I could totally see you being like Katara and you know, that kind of thing, and I champion that shit. And if anyone says anything different, come at me, bro.
Heck them. Well, typically it's like, well, if you don't think Katara is cool, then I don't want to be your friend, and therefore I do not care about your opinion.
Right, exactly. Like, thank you for revealing yourself. You can exit. Thank you. Don't have to. It's not an airport. Yes. Don't have to announce it.
Yeah.
Oh, but I know. That. Now, and I swear it'll be the last question because I've taken a lot of your time. But
I do not mind at all. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit stop recording, and then we'll just talk about this for the next 4 hours. But no, if you were going to be in this world, what kind of would you be? A bender? Would you not be a bender? Would you be the Avatar? What would be the you know?
I don't want to be an Avatar. Let me tell you right now.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. It's like when people ask me if oh, so are you gonna go to school to be a vet? Hell no. Hell no.
I've seen what it looks like.
Yeah, I get to turn around and go, excuse me, doctor. What do we do about this?
Yeah.
Excuse me. We have a problem here, and it is not my decision to make.
Like, I will help you. I want your journey to succeed. Don't ask me.
Yeah, I will do the assist all day long. You tell me what to do. You need help with that? Absolutely. I'm on my way. I'm running as fast as I can.
I love it. Yeah.
You give me a dilemma and want me to have the confidence to know what the best choice is. We will be frozen in fear forever.
I love you so much. And thus, knowing yourself is important, everybody.
That's a no for me.
Yeah.
So, no to being an Avatar, yes to bending, because I know what it's like to not bend, and that's, you know,
that's just life. Bend. That sucks.
Yeah, that's just normal. And like, Sokka's by far one of the best characters, has an incredible story arc. But no question, any day of the week, always and forever, water tribe, best tribe.
Yeah. South or north?
Southern.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Only good choice. Oh, I love that. Dog, that was crazy. I'm not the Avatar. No.
That's an absolute no for me, thank you. Well, I'm too much like Aang. That motherfucker was like,
yeah.
I
mean, literally what kicked off the whole show.
Exactly.
That's his entire backstory.
That's exactly what would happen. I would also panic, run away, and freeze myself in an iceberg for 100 years, and then look what happened.
At least you had your bestie.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't. Appa. like most reliable character.
I love
10
it
out of 10.
so much. It cracks me up so much, but it's so true. Oh my god.
I'm humble enough to know I would not be a good avatar. Yeah.
No. Which again, funny thing because, you know, again by circumstance, he had to. You know, and he was quite literally push-up glasses. I'm actually his Avatar: The Last Airbender because he was one. He was the last one. Yeah. Anyway, oh, that's so freaking funny. Thank you for that laugh.
You're so welcome.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, like I said, that'll be the last one. Otherwise, again, we'll be here for hours, which I don't personally mind. But you know, I know you've been working all day. Probably be nice to have a break after this. But Dog, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and also thank you very much for me just helping me kick off this little passion project. I really appreciate it.
I am so honored to be even thought about, let alone one of your firsts for this amazing project. So this was great, and I hope we can do it again, whether it's for a podcast or not.
Yeah, yes, please. I mean, I would love to, and I know you're very busy. I know I'm very busy, so please, anytime is what I'm gonna say. Anytime.
Maybe we'll just need an episode 2 so we have a reason, and we'll schedule it in Google.
Did you like that? I liked it. I was like, oh, this actually works.
I need the reminder.
Yeah, right. Oh god, me too. Now, if you don't mind taking a moment, is there anything, now this will air in about March-ish time for next year, is there any projects or anything coming up that you want to talk about, like your Patreon maybe, or anything of that nature, where people can find you?
Anything specific for March? Not really.
Or leading up to
Keep your eyes peeled for when we will be doing our big charity event again next year around September for Jack.org, and hopefully any other ones that I might get to participate in. Other than that, no one will know, but between now and when this airs, my 5 years on Twitch happens. Very exciting.
Yay!
January 26th.
Oh my goodness. Hell yeah.
That's a little special tidbit just for you.
Ah, you know, and what's funny? I also just passed mine. Literally, when I opened OBS today, it was like, guess what? And I was like, oh
5
no.
years.
What do you mean it's been 5 years?
It's almost like a global pandemic happened 5 years ago. Oh.
And we're still here. No, I love it. But again, thank you so much. And for everybody listening and or watching, you can find Dog on twitch.tv/DogTheLastAirbender. And that's all one word. And links to all of their other content can be found. And there's a Patreon now, which is lovely. So please go check that out. As I'll say for sign off, please be cozy. Take care of yourself the best that you can. Things are crazy right now. And this is very corny. I hope you like this. In the words of Tigger, TTFN, Torin talks for now. Take care, everybody. Bye. So let's deep dive on Torin Talks.